Hey guys, welcome back to Release the Craftin. Priscilla here with another collaboration with Globleland. They sent me these dies. Remember, I unboxed them, and I've been just doing some makes with the dies that they sent me. So all the details for that, including their website and the discount code they sent me, will be down in the description box below. So definitely check that out. But I thought we would use these fun like gothic frames and make these extra large like Polaroid pieces. And like I'm not gonna lie, guys, this set of dies in particular had like a bit of a learning curve to it. So it took me a couple of tries to figure it out. But while I was cutting away to like figure out what I had to work with here, I realized that the square and the size of paper I had actually made like a perfect Polaroid frame. So this is just like some 5x7 paper, and that square, if you position it right, like will make it look like a little Polaroid. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to make some Polaroid shakers. So that's what we're doing. And we're just making it really easy. I'm not going to do something like over the top or complicated or anything like that. Just real simple shakers, because I want them to be like simple but also effective and a little bit atmospherically Halloweeny spooky, right? So like, here we go. So the hardest thing with these dies, I will say, is that you have to make sure that all these pieces line up. And I haven't figured out like a smart way to do this. I'm sure like if you got like a little angle piece, you could probably do it that way. But I just make it a point to like make sure I get them all centered in so that I get all the pieces relatively straight, because they all stack on each other to make a really cool window effect. And then these gothic-y frame pieces, these window pieces, also came with these like really cool little like spooky creatures and skulls and stuff cutouts to use as well. So we're going to put this all together to make a really cute little shaker card. So I needed to cut out pieces for the background, so that's what you're seeing me cut right now. And then I already cut out all the shapes I'm going to use. I'm not going to use every single one, but I have a bunch on hand now. And I'm going to cut out a little bit of this chipboard to use as like the borders to give us a little bit of lift on the shaker card so that all the stuff shakes inside the shaker card. And yeah, that's basically it. So we're going to cut out 2 black frames, 2 backgrounds. Oh, sorry, 2 pieces of acrylic. Or acetate, not acrylic, so that we have a window for our shaker to go on. Otherwise, we're going to have a bunch of glitter on the floor. And we're going to cut out each of the window pieces. They're a set, so there's like a small, fine detail line work one, and then there's like the larger background piece. So you'll see, we're going to just assemble it. Once you get all the pieces like cut out and ready to go, it comes together really, really quickly. So this is a really easy project to do. I'm going to use that Zig 2-way glue pen because it's my favorite way to attach acetate and small finicky details, to line up the frame so that we can stick the acetate down without having to like fuss with it or worrying about it slipping or anything. And then also for the really fine detail like top pit, we're going to use that pen as well, so that we can position it on there easily without having to also worry about glue seepage and stuff like this. So if you aren't familiar with the way this pen works, when it dries clear, it becomes like really tacky, and then you can sort of position it, and you have a little bit. It's supposed to be repositionable, but I've always found that after it like adheres together, it's stuck together. It doesn't really come up after it's been sitting for a minute. So it works really well for stuff like this. And so yeah, I'm just trying to get a little bit of glue in places so that none of the pieces come like sticking up or anything like that, because I don't want it to be like, I don't want to use glue on every single inch of it, because I'm going to get that glue everywhere. But I do want it to stick down when we stick it on top of the acetate. So the first thing we're going to do is, once the frames have gone clear, we're going to stick the acetate down and get like a nice little adhesion on that. And then we're going to go and stack in the other square pieces on top, and they fit right in because we're using the same size square that came with the dies to cut everything out. So it becomes very satisfying to put this all together. And you can see you get a really cool like effect, depending on the color that you choose to use or the order in which you stack them up. You get like different cool spooky effects. So I definitely think I'll get a lot of use out of this. I'm seeing like a nice red for the background for like a nice spooky vampire-y journal, I think would be really cool. And there's a bunch of different things you can do other than shaker stuff. But I was like, shakers are perfect for this. I wanted to do something for these Halloween books I've been sitting on forever, and they don't have any shaker cards in them, so here we are. And then this one, you guys had me cracking up trying to figure out what the center shape is. It looks like some kind of like fancy cake dish like shape, and I don't even know if that was the intention, but you guys were like saying it looks like Buddha, and you're not wrong, it does look like Buddha, but I don't think that was the shape that was intended. I think it's just supposed to be like a decorative detail, and I don't really I don't really know what that detail is, but it does work out. It does still look nice and gothic-y and spooky. So once I get everything all stacked up, we're going to then put the final piece down and stick it to the acetate. So you can see I did that really quickly. I had to leave and come back and film this at a different time. But you'll see it when I flip it back over how it looks, but they all just stick in to the hole that we already cut with that square piece. And then I'm going to go around and add a little bit of this chipboard as a buffer, so that I can put the shaker stuff in there, and also so that it has a little bit of height inside, a little bit of distance, so that it shakes around in there. And honestly, I probably could have doubled this up for more movement, but I didn't want it to be super chunky, so it just depends on how much movement you want your shaker card to have. But this is a really easy way to add height without having to go out and buy like foam tape or anything like that, so we're using what we have, right? Trying to be a little bit thrifty, I guess, with our money in this last half of the year. She says, while she adds other stuff to cart. But we're going to just build a little border around the edge. And I'm not trying to be like super perfect with it, but I also don't want there to be big gaps, because if there's big gaps, then all the stuff we put inside will just fall out. So like, yeah, we don't want that to happen. And then I have some of this like Halloween confetti. I don't know how much of it's going to be seen through the windows. I think on the one with the Buddha cut out, it'll definitely be seen. And then, my craft room invader came to inspect the work that we were doing. But it'll still have the right colors and stuff for Halloween, so it'll still work out. And then I decided to add some of this craft room cooties, which immediately got everywhere. Much to my chagrin, more so once Smokey put his tail in it. But it works out in the end, too. It does add a nice little sparkly holographic-y effect to it. So even if you can't see all the little shapes, you can still see all the sparkle and stuff. So it works out pretty cool. And then we're just going to go around and glue the front and the back pieces together. So the important thing is to only glue on the edge of the border, and then the paper that you're going to stick to the other paper stock. And then we're just going to stick the front and backs together. So this is the back of the bag that you're seeing. And I'll flip it over and you'll see that polka dot pattern through the window. And I think, yeah, you could put other cool stuff behind here too. Like you could put some cool, like vampires, because I have vampires in the brain right now. Watching a lot of vampire movies lately. But you could put some cool spooky people in the background, like a whole scene and everything like that. I think would be really cool. And then I'm going to take our shape cutouts, just add a little bit of like razzle dazzle to the front of these Polaroids, otherwise they're going to be very plain looking. And I want them to match those tags that we made last time, so I got my waxes out to just go over them very lightly to pick up those details and stuff, because these are really detailed shapes. I was really surprised when I cut these out. I thought they were just going to be like sort of ambiguously shaped, but they had a lot of details in them, so I'm really happy with these. I'm definitely going to get a lot of use out of all these spooky shapes, because this is a spooky house. But I think the wax adds a little offset here and a little bit more interest visually to the front. And I do like that the raven looks like it's like sitting in the window, ready to tell us nevermore. And then I'm just going to take some of those Tim Holtz stickers real quick and pop in a quick little spooky like sentiment, so that, there's a little bit more interest going on there. And that's it. That's everything we had to do to make these shaker cards come together. So yeah, shout out to Globleland for sending these to me, because I love them and they're so cool. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this quick little tutorial. If you have any questions, thoughts, comments, leave them in the comments below. I appreciate your faces, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Happy crafting. Bye.